Well, as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. Now, if we just flip it around and say, with great responsibility comes the great power, and that is exactly what product management does. The decisions that they take, they are so responsible. They drive product engineering, they drive release, they drive the marketing, they drive the sales. So the responsibility that a product manager has eventually turns into a very powerful decision for the enterprise, because at the end of the day, the product in the market has to be on a sustainable basis, growing and making sure that it is way above the competition. As part of my experience, as part of my work experience with the clients, um, whether it was $100 billion conglomerate, working through the nuclear reactors, to the light bulbs, to the white goods, to a consumer goods company which was suffering because of the poor response on the product in spite of following all the processes, to a startup which was maybe simplifying the KYC processes for our MSMEs and SMEs. Across the contingent, what I have found while working through these engagements is that the ideas, the way an idea emerges, the way the quantification of idea happens, and eventually how quickly are we able to take those strategic bets, convert into the execution, and then there's power in the execution. Basically meaning that are we really able to convert our ideas into something which has been implemented and can be shipped to market. So in my experience, product management, typically what we have kind of worked around is, in fact I've taken some points, is like we have to give way to ideas. I mean, wherever we have seen that there was not a very good mechanism or maybe a very refined mechanism to really understand how the whole idea journey should come in, we have implemented that. And now it could be through an ideation platform, it could be through a citizens program, it could be through incentives, through the budget programs. So there are many ways which we have seen case to case basis, but the core theme is that an idea really has to come in many ways, from many forums, from many stakeholders. Need not just be a top down approach, and that is something which really helps the enterprise to focus on what is really going to be relevant for the business. Now the second thing is that I mean, there can be a number of ideas. So as another management philosophy is that as a product manager, we have to be very, very smart to understand how to sift through these ideas, because see, we cannot just work with endless ideas. So that is again something that we have worked on. And typically I have seen that if you kind of limit it to say the best 5, for example, just like the fingers, if you limit something to the fingers on your hand, then there's a good hold, and that is the way even the priority comes out very clearly, because it is really difficult to come down to top 5 when you have a number of ideas coming from many people which are equally good, and maybe your competition has also done the same. Now post that, once the the ideas have been kind of refined and converged, the other thing that we have seen which is very effective is take the strategic bets. So when I say strategic bets, what typically we do is we don't try to kind of foolproof everything, because we cannot do so. It cannot be 100% plan which is like fully strategic in nature and covers every aspect. It may not be, it may be just 70%, but the commitment is 100%. So that is what we are looking at. So when we go into the strategic bets, we just focus on making sure that, like I said, commitment is there 100% when everybody is moving out of the, say, workshop, or the ideation workshop or the discovery workshops, they are 100% bought into the idea that this is something that they have to implement. And yes, obviously there are iterations which can help you refine strategies. So again, that is something that we focus on, because time is also of essence. Then comes the people part. So people is like, once the strategic bet has been done and we are like very clear that this is exactly what we want to do, the responsibility comes down to the people. And if they are rallying behind the idea, the execution is very powerful. So we spend a good amount of time when we are into such engagements, making sure that not just the ideas, not just the management, but even the execution team has completely bought into it, and they exactly understand the role, the importance, the significance of their job in that typical idea execution. So that really works. And let me tell you that it is not very straightforward. So there are conflicts, there are a lot of disputes, there are resistance shown along the way, and a simple approach which we typically follow is that we do a lot of role plays. So I would suggest, if any one of you has or is undergoing the same, role play is very, very effective, because it really dilutes the boundary of thought process, because once you are into another role play and you try to question or defend the position from that perspective, the person automatically understands what exactly the person is asking for, and then the alignment happens much faster, rather than a referee coming in and explaining every time what is right, what should be done. So like I said, strategic bets to execution, and execution coming in through role plays is a key element of our strategy, which we follow most of the times. Yeah. And let me tell you, last but not least, obviously, is that there are n number of data points, there are n number of operational metrics which come into play when such the strategic engagements or executions are happening, or even otherwise. And we make sure that when a review is done, which is based on, say, metrics or something, idea is to have 30% of time spent on the review, 70% of the time spent on the outlook. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that it has to be a forward-looking meeting, not something which is looking on the data points, dwelling on the past, but ensuring that while we understand what is happening and what is not working and what is working, our focus is very, very clearly on what to do now, from now onwards, to make it really work. And that is, I think, a very important element again for the product management teams, to make sure that when we look at an idea to execution to the release, we clearly understand the outlook part of it, while we spend some time on the review part of it. So yeah, so all in all, this is what typically we do, and I found these things very, very helpful in my engagements. Some of the engagements have been really successful, some of the large ones. In fact, some of the engagements, just to boast myself, have been in the top 3 for the enterprises in the last 50 years. So yeah, so this is, I think, the crux of what I wanted to share, and I hope you find them useful. And I will definitely look forward to hear on the ideas and share more thoughts as we progress. Thank you, and have a good day.